on September 20th of 1951 in Dallas, Texas on the Trinity River. Members of the Dallas Archaeological Society are indebted as to the origin of an ancient appearing weapon recently found on the banks of the Trinity in South Dallas. The theory of King Herod, president of the society, is that the hatchet-like blade was carried by Spanish or French explorers in the 16th century. If this is true, this may change some historical beliefs that the expeditions were not believed to have traveled this far east. It's being sent to the Metropolitan Museum in New York for study. This happened on April 19th of 1957 in Grand Prairie, Texas on the Trinity River. A boat trip down the Trinity River from Grand Prairie, Texas to Corpus Christi runs into trouble before it even starts. The boat, being launched at the 8th Street Bridge in Grand Prairie, cuts loose from its rope and almost tips over as it is lowered toward the river. The boat trip is being made by 4 JCs en route to a 4-day Texas JCs convention, which opens in Corpus Christi on Wednesday. They are making the trip, they say, to prove the Trinity River is navigable. The 4 JCs are John Garcia of Grand Prairie, Hal Conover Jr. of Arlington, Larry Jones of Fort Worth, and Art Clifton of Grand Prairie. With the boat only as far as the muddy river bank, official ceremonies are held, including the christening of the boat by Mrs. George Watson, who dubs it the Stump Jumper. The 4 JCs are traveling fully provisionized. The 4 claim that they'll live on the boat all the way to Corpus Christi. The boat is no sooner in the water than a fire breaks out in the hold. A minor one, though, quickly put out. The JCs, apparently confident, even in the face of 2 unfortunate events, brave a rain-swollen Trinity River, which seems intent on running them aground. Lots of luck, guys. We refer to Gilligan's Island in this just as playing around, but the pilot for the Gilligan Island series was filmed over several days in November of 1963 on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. The last day of shooting was scheduled for November 23rd, 1963 in Honolulu Harbor for the scenes showing the SS Minnow embarking on its faithful 3-hour tour. Late in the morning on November 22nd, a crew member ran on the set and announced that he had just heard on the radio that President John F. Kennedy had been shot in Dallas, Texas. As Lyndon B. Johnson was sworn in as president, it was announced that all military installations, including Honolulu Harbor, would be closed for the next 2 days as a period of mourning. There is a reminder of this historical incident seen in the series. In the opening credits of the first season, as the Minnow pulls out into the harbor, the United States flag in the background can be seen flying at half-staff. This happened on June 5th, 1964, on the Trinity River near Trinidad, Texas. The Gene Nix family has had nothing but trouble since it left Dallas a week ago on a trip down the Trinity River. The 34-foot-long boat ran aground the first day out, and the faithful family dog and fled the boat, never to return. The next day, the boat lost its water cans to overhanging branches, and on Sunday, the boat hit a rock and started to leak. It takes about 200 gallons of water a day, but the family, despite its troubles, has reached Trinidad in Henderson County, and Nix is as determined as ever to float to the Gulf Coast. Members of a Baptist congregation in Trinidad have helped the family. Mrs. Sue Taylor and Mrs. Jimmy Darnell today visited the boat with some groceries for the 3 Nix children and some .22 caliber shells for Nix's single-shot rifle. Nix fell overboard this week and lost his wallet, but he says he has some more money and it's on its way from Dallas.
Well, actually, everything all hinges on me being able to get this to Houston where I can get my sponsorship to get on overseas and go ahead and do field engineering mission like I want to do.
But I mean, how is this better for y'all as opposed to riding a bus or a car or something?
$1,500 to ship that thing to the coast. It doesn't cost me anything but just my time getting it down yonder. So
what are you going to do after you get to the coast with it?
I'll outfit it, put the engine on it, put aluminum sheathing over the hull and paint it all up, make it look nice. And I'll work it between here in November before we get season to go over. I'll work it up down the coast there and work either roughnecking or air conditioning and maybe lease the boat out a little bit and gain enough money to get out all the initial I have to get ahead to go on overseas and do our work.
The rain-soaked bank is so slick visitors are lowered by a rope. Nick says he can definitely use a .22 caliber bullet. He says food has been a little short, that he has shot squirrels and ducks. Today a rabbit is in the pot. The boat has hit a lot of underwater stumps. One such collision today sent their boat engine into shallow water. Nick says he'll stay at Trinidad until he can salvage the engine. He says there is a hole in Houston he wants to buy to tie onto the one he has now. If the 2 boats can be made seaworthy, he'll sail them across the Pacific Pacific to the Micronesian Islands near Australia. There he plans to join missionaries preaching and working on construction project. Nix says he would like to be an ordained minister in the United Christian Fellowship Church, and going down the river is his way of meeting the church's requirement that he has proven his faith. Nix says that if the boat doesn't work out, he'll go to the South Pacific in a more conventional means, perhaps by steamer. The Trinity River is indeed a test of anybody's faith. It is shallow this time of year, filled with log jams, underwater obstructions, and a series of cement locks left over from an old navigation project that was never completed. At Trinidad, Nix is about a quarter of the way to the Gulf. A long, hard way lies ahead. Thanks for watching another episode of Carrollton City Limits Flashback Flicks. If you enjoy these kind of videos, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel you're watching it on. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you real soon, y'all.